The quadrupedal walk is an amazing movement and it's quite a basic one, so there are no real prerequisites to doing this movement. You can do it if you're brand new to kind of this style of training. I would advise that, of course, you try some planks, perhaps maybe do some push-up variations, but typically, even if you don't do those, you should be able to perform this quite well. So this movement is an amazing movement because it gets a basic fundamental understanding of quadrupedal movements and coordination. Quadrupedal means, of course, 4 kind of limbs moving all together. We're typically bipedal, meaning we stand upright and we walk on our feet. Quadrupedal movement, as you can see, is walking on all 4s there. So it's really good for building a solid base of strength, coordination, and movement kind of focus. No pun intended. So it's an amazing exercise for your shoulders, your core, strengthening the wrists to help you get better progressions as you go on with handstands, cartwheels, QDRs, all sorts of things just like that. So we're going to begin with step number 1. And step number 1 is something I'll call the tabletop or reverse tabletop position. Typically the tabletop position is stomach to the sky, but this is going to be maybe the reverse tabletop though. But essentially all you're doing is you're going onto your hands and knees. Your shoulders are over your wrists. So there's a straight line drawn from your shoulders down to your wrists. There's a straight line from your shoulders through to your hips, so your back's nice and flat. You should be able to put a cup of water on there and it should not be able to fall off. There's a direct line from your hips on top of your knees, and then your knees should be fairly in line with your ankles as your toes then are on the floor. This is your fundamental position. I would advise looking in a mirror doing this, or perhaps even recording a video of yourself doing it, or just taking some photos so you can see whether your kind of position here, your static position, is correct or not. Now from here, something really important is when we do this quadrupedal movement, we're wanting to move with simultaneous limbs there. So if I'm moving my left hand forward, my right foot is moving at the same time or as close as I can get it. I'm not letting the shoulders dip or twist. My core stays nice and tight, nice and tense. And again, my hips stay straight. I'm not kind of twisting the hips one side or the other there. That's what gets your kind of core a lot stronger, actually keeping super stable with this. The role of the abs is to stabilize the body, the core, and this does exactly that. So if you're not feeling it in the core, then you might kind of be twisting the shoulders or the hips there. So essentially we're stepping forward with, let's just say, the left hand right now. So we raise the left hand off as we raise the right hand off. We step forward very small with the left hand, but rather than just placing the hand down, I want you to roll from the pinky into the forefinger there. And what this will do is it just gets another added kind of element of elegance, but on top of that, it teaches you how to place your pressure properly on your hands. A lot of people might just kind of stamp down on the ground there. By going here, so kind of on the outside of your hand rolling inwards, you do get a much softer touch, and it does absorb the kind of, not that there should be much impact, but the impact or the connection to the floor there a lot better. Your feet are fine, just going on your toes there. No need to kind of move there with kind of, going outside to inside. Just on your hand, you're placing the hand down with a gentle roll, and that's how it should be. Now, once you've made connection there, you then want to shift the weight forward. So the left shoulder should return to over the left hand as you then step forward with your right, and basically repeating with that. It's quite a basic movement. That's pretty much the steps 1 to 3 there. However, there are variations you can do to make it harder. So in the beginning, you might want to be going up and down some stairs. Going upstairs will be a lot easier because you're shifting your weight back onto your legs rather than onto your arms and shoulders. Arms and shoulders are smaller muscles than the legs, meaning it will be harder. You can't generate as much force. So going upstairs will be a lot easier, so that would be a nice progression. Once you've got that, perhaps you can try going downstairs or even down a small hill. That's a nice way to progress your training if going along flat is just too easy for you. On top of that, now something we do a lot in parkour as well is actually doing it on a hand railing. So you might want to start by doing it on a small wall, something that actually makes you keep your hands and feet a lot closer together. This will really test your balance. But essentially the main progression, I would say, when it comes to kind of doing it on equipment would be on a hand railing, as you can see here. It's definitely a lot harder to move because there's a lot more instability, and you may in the beginning not be able to move the limb simultaneously because you've got a much smaller kind of room for error there. But on top of that, simply because you're less stable, so it will be much harder there. But yeah, you'll be gripping the bar and moving forward, just as you can see in the video. That's kind of an ultimate progression, I would say. Perhaps even putting it on a slack line or something might be harder, if possible. So that is essentially the quadrupedal walk there. It's a very fundamental, and this is a good one to tie in with other movements. So you've got your progressions there, and I'm not going to go too deep into this area of things, but this is a good place to start doing your locomotion connections from. So you isolate this movement, and maybe you want to isolate other movements such as the monkey walk, the tabletop position, and a sumo shuffle. These are some very good movements to tie in together because this makes you slow down, be coordinated, and it's an easy one to get into from like a monkey walk or something. If you don't know what I'm talking about joining movements together, I have got plenty of videos on this, but it's a movement practice in itself. We typically call it floreo or locomotion. But essentially it's a great basic there. Let me know if you've got any questions down below. Of course, all of these exercises are on my training app, which I will be launching very, very shortly, which should be interesting. But yeah, for more details, you can see the video at the end here. But that's pretty much it. If you've got any questions about form, pressure, timing, this or that, or progressions, please do let me know down below and share this to a friend who you think it might be challenging for. And until next time, have a lovely rest of your day. Oh, by the way, if you're still watching, thank you very much. I want you to keep an eye out for my training app, which I'll be publishing soon. It's basically an online training app where you can have all these videos and the exercises in a structured training plan method on my own personalized app with every step-by-step direction there. It's a wonderful, wonderful way to learn. I have a lot of online clients currently doing it, not necessarily for movement, but more so for kind of like just typical weight loss and training and strength and muscle building. This is one example here of the entire layout of the app there. It tells you how many reps to do, how long you should be doing things for. You can track everything, video for every exercise, and direct access to me with form correction. Not launched yet, but let me know if you are interested and I will get you more details there. But until next time, have a lovely rest of your day. I'll see you later.